Welcome to the Know. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Gus.
Looks like that remake of System Shock isn't going to happen, at least not anytime soon, and probably not in the form any of us thought it would be.
Yeah, the developer behind the crowdfunded game says it's now on hiatus, which nobody likes to hear.
Nope.
And it will not be welcome news to the more than 21,000 backers who put more than 1.3 million bucks into it in Kickstarter.
They took your money and ran.
Well, let's find out.
Well, they walked slowly and in a meandering direction. So while the System Shock reboot, it started with a lot of promise, a lot of momentum a few years ago. Now looks like it could be another crowdfunding game that turns out to be basically vaporware.
Which in this case is a bit of a shock to the system.
Nope.
No pun intended.
Nope. Yes, pun intended.
Considering devs had even released a demo for the game back in 2016. The demo was basically a working prototype. It had a bunch of functioning game systems, the look they were going for.
I mean, look, at the time, that was held up as the right way to launch a Kickstarter. Here's a developer working on one of gaming's classic franchises that everyone wanted to see come back with a working demo built before they ever even asked for public funding. It was like the ideal Kickstarter case study. I remember downloading that when they made it available and being like, this is awesome. This is the way to do it. How could it go wrong?
And yet, here we are. This turn of events, yet again, highlights the risks involved in crowdfunding. For every crowdfunding game like Shovel Knight that worked out great, there are
So great.
There are sadly lots of others that never see the light of day or were real letdowns.
And while the developer insists the project will ultimately be completed, somehow, there's no doubt it's having a lot of trouble delivering on what it initially promised.
Okay, so here's how it all went down. Back in 2016, developer Night Dive Studios launched a Kickstarter campaign to reboot the classic first-person sci-fi game from 1994 and bring it to a whole new audience.
Night Dive released a concept video of the game. It was planned to be released by the end of 2017 for PlayStation 4, PC, Xbox One. Their idea was to make a faithful reboot of the original game with updated graphics and smoothing out some of the game's rough edges, which we've seen as a very successful pitch for a lot of games recently. Crash Bandicoot was awesome, even with the whole change to the hitbox for the first game that made it harder
Let's
to
not get
jump.
into that again. And as time went by, the developer kept backers updated with screenshots and videos of what they were working on. And just last month, they showed off some concept art from the game and an interview with the member of the team. In an FAQ asking when the game would be released, the dev wrote, "We're still early in development. Once we enter our production phase, we'll have more info for you all."
I guess that should have been the first indication that a month ago, well after the game was initially due to be out.
Wasn't a month ago after Q4 2017?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, well, I guess we should have gotten an indication then. Apparently, development didn't go according to plan, because a few days ago, Stephen Kick, the CEO of the studio, put out a new statement on the game's Kickstarter page, and you know it's not going to be good when the headline is, "Sometimes you need to take a step back in order to take 2 steps forward."
Uh-oh. Kick wrote,
Wait, hold on. Is this a tease that they're working with Take-Two?
"Oh, look at you. You're drawing all the connections." Well, I don't know if that's true. Kick wrote, "I have put the team on a hiatus while we reassess our path so that we can return to our vision. We are taking a break, but not ending the project. Please accept my personal assurance that we will be back and stronger than ever. System Shock is going to be completed and all of our promises fulfilled."
Personal guarantee, huh?
So what happened, huh?
Yeah, what happened? Well, Kick said the vision of the project had changed to moving from a remaster of the original or a remake to a completely new game. And after switching game engines as well from Unity to Unreal, he wrote, "We began envisioning doing more, but straying from the core concepts of the original title."
Kick added, "As our concept grew and as our team changed, so did the scope of what we were doing, and with that, the budget for the game. As the budget grew, we began a long series of conversations with potential publishing partners. The more that we worked on the game, the more that we wanted to do, and the further we got from the original concept that made System Shock so great." This sounds a little like Star Citizen, doesn't it?
A little
We kept
bit.
adding more, and the scope kept changing, and then we changed our engine.
Well, also, it reminds me a little bit of Broken Age. The game from Double Fine. It was crowdfunded. It made way more than they were initially asking for, so they scoped it up to take advantage of all the additional funding and overscoped it, so they ended up having to break it into 2 pieces and fund the second half's development through sales of the first half.
Yeah.
It was
Good times.
kind of a mess. Anyway, in this case, the studio's director of business development, Larry Cooperman, told Polygon that 15 contract workers are no longer working on the game, but he said that Night Dive is not laying off any full-time staff.
Of course, this is not the first time that a gaming Kickstarter has either failed to deliver a game or has delivered a really crappy one.
Well, and that's because, well, while Kickstarters can start with a lot of momentum, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of go-get-em and gumption, that can quickly peter out when confronted with the realities of game development, which is that it's very time-consuming, it's very expensive, it's just plain hard, things don't always work out how you think something's going to be really easy, and then it turns out to be the worst possible thing. There's a lot of issues with it.
I like the phrase peter out. We don't say that enough.
We should bring it back. Let's bring back the peter out, and then it can peter out.
Of course, there have been some great successes that have grown out of crowdfunding campaigns. Faster Than Light, Elite Dangerous, Undertale, Banner Saga, Hyperlight Drifter, Divinity Original Sin, and Night in the Woods all had crowdfunding roots. Not on that list was the Shadowrun reboot as well.
Right, that's true, and everyone loves that.
And maybe the biggest success story of all was Shovel Knight, the love story to old school 8-bit platformers whose developer still keeps adding free content to the game.
But for every Shovel Knight or, well, any of those on the list out there, there are a lot of others that have fizzled out.
Remember the Yog Ventures
petered
game?
Out, perhaps.
Oh yeah, petered out. There you go. Remember the Yog Ventures game? I believe that petered out too. That grew out of the popular Yogscast YouTube channel, and it raised more than $567,000 back in 2012 for an open-world sandbox game. But the project was eventually canceled and was disowned by the Yogscast founders.
Ouch.
They ended up giving backers Steam keys for an entirely different game.
That's good enough. Then there was Project Phoenix, JRPG raised more than $1 million in funding and was initially planned for release back in 2013, and yep, still nothing.
Wow. And one of the biggest still unreleased crowdfunded games is the biggest of them all.
And Gus's favorite.
Yay, the game I spent the most money on in my life, the spaceflight sim Star Citizen, which raised more than $2 million on Kickstarter way back in 2012 and has since surpassed $174 million in total crowdfunding. And if you ask me, is the reason we're here talking about this now.
Same sort of thing. They overscope, they add more to it, and so on and so forth. Here's the solution. Just give them more money.
I think if we spend our way through it, we can figure it. We can make this happen.
Well, that's how you get through resource issues, right? You can either throw money at it or people, or throw money at people to throw at it.
I think throwing people is illegal in the state of Texas.
Well, where Star Citizen is concerned, at least, we still don't have a final game. The release date was supposed to be 2014. It was bumped back to 2016. We're still waiting. The project's going to include a single-player game called Squadron 42 and a multiplayer game, but still no release date, which has led a lot of people to call it vaporware. Some backers have even sued the developer to get their money back.
Yeah, they're working on it. Other crowdfunding games like Mighty No. 9, I have to tell myself that, and Goddess have made it out of development and actually released, but they were disappointments.
Right, there's some that we would have been happy to keep in our memories as, the potential it could have.
Yeah.
Now, as for System Shock, Cooperman told Polygon that after the break, development will restart, and that some creators of the original demo will probably return to work on it. So they're back to square one. That's pretty awesome. $1 million later. We'll just loop back to the original demo. He estimated that the game will release 18 to 24 months from now.
What?
Yeah.
You're taking a break, and you're still going to release the game 18 to 24 months from now?
And they have to figure out what that game is going to be still.
I think I'm not a video game developer, but the math doesn't seem to add up there.
It seems a little sus.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not holding my breath. Hopefully the game will finally come out and satisfy all the people who put money into it, but as of now, it looks like yet another cautionary tale of a lot of people giving a lot of money to fund a game that may or may not ever happen.
I mean, that's the trick with crowdfunding, right? Is you have to basically look at it as money spent on a potential that might not come. I don't know. It sucks. I was really excited about this one, so I'm sorry to hear that it's in the state that it's in. I mean, man, System Shock was so good back in the day, and it led to so many offshoots. Like, it really helped to build out its genre, but we will rebuild. What do you guys think of the System Shock remake taking a break? Do you think it's ever going to get made? Let us know in the comments.
And for all your video game and crowdfunding news, be sure to like this video, and if you're new around here, subscribe to the know. Then you don't have to bunk it.
Then you don't have to bunk it. Bunk.
I like it.
Bunk.
I like this.
Bunk. Everything is bunk.
It's all bunk.
It's all
Wait,
bunk.
That's bad. If you describe something as bunk, that means it's bullshit.
Right, but if you bunk something, it means a totally different thing.
If you use bunk physically, it's fine.
Bunk.
If you describe something using bunk as an adjective, that's bad.